I disagree.
You're not really for giving law enforcement the power to fight back, are you?
I am in favor of giving law enforcement that power and respecting constitutional limits.
I don't believe you, Professor. Okay? You're not talking to Bambi's baby brother here. Okay? I've read some of your stuff. I think you'd be more intellectually honest if you just come out and say, I'm on
Senator
the side
John
of the...
Kennedy just dismantled a law professor during a Senate hearing on drone authority, and it was pure fireworks. When the professor tried to lecture Kennedy about constitutional limits, Kennedy fired back with one of his most memorable lines ever. "You're not talking to Bambi's baby brother here." Kennedy accused the professor of trying to love the bill to death, pretending to support law enforcement while secretly crippling their ability to act. From the border to the skies, Kennedy is demanding real accountability and the power for states to defend themselves. Watch this explosive moment that exposes how Washington elites and academics hide behind legal talk to keep America weak.
The ports of entry, but that's not your experience, is it?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Kennedy?
The bad guys are using drones. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay. And the federal government has the authority to fight back, does it not? But nobody disagrees with that statement? Sure, Professor.
I would say within limits, yes. Within constitutional limits.
Okay. Do any of you disagree with giving state and local law enforcement the authority to fight back?
Again, within constitutional limits.
Okay. Tell me what your constitutional concerns are, Professor.
So I have three primary concerns. The first has to do with the Fourth Amendment and the conditions under which a warrant is required and a general warrant is forbidden by the Fourth Amendment. So in this particular case, it's important...
Professor, before you give me one of your lectures, are you saying that we should require state and local law enforcement to get a warrant before they fight back?
It depends on the condition. So in an exigent circumstance or something along the border...
I'm aware of the exceptions to the warrant requirement. But you, generally speaking, you want to require them to get a warrant.
Only for the search of a device or the seizure of property. There are also due process implications of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You started to mention another one of your objections.
First Amendment.
First Amendment. Okay. Any others?
Yeah, I also have a state rights, a 10th Amendment concern here, which is that states own the airspace adjacent to the land within their state that's not federally owned, and the current federal provisions don't recognize state sovereignty in that way.
So you want to give state and local law enforcement the authority to fight back, but you want to list a whole lot of conditions. Is that a fair assessment?
Not a whole lot, but some. There needs to be a nexus to the facility. It can't be any drone anywhere in America if you're concerned about a particular facility, but right now it's too broad. There have to be acknowledgments of First Amendment concerns. So for instance, limiting the covered facilities to the experience and logic test with which the courts use for right of public access, or prohibiting media bans across the board, or setting a time limit before and after special events so they don't extend extensively. This is what a number of state measures already do, and I'd like to see that at a federal level and apply to bring this within the constitutional limits.
Sounds like a lot of conditions to me.
No, not very many. As long as there's probable cause and the conditions are met, then absolutely you can.
Have you ever heard of a legislative practice called loving a bill to death?
Yes.
Okay. And that's when you take a bill and somebody says, I'm really for this bill. But then they add so many amendments and they screw it up so badly that the bill either becomes ineffective or doesn't pass. Is that a pretty accurate description?
Of the term?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're trying to love this to death, aren't you?
I disagree.
You're not really for giving law enforcement the power to fight back, are you?
I am in favor of giving law enforcement that power and respecting constitutional limits.
I don't believe you, Professor. Okay? You're not talking to Bambi's baby brother here. Okay? I've read some of your stuff. I think you'd be more intellectually honest if you just come out and say, I'm on the side of the bad guys here. I think we shouldn't give state and local law enforcement the authority to fight back. You're trying to make it as hard as possible, aren't you?
We'll have to disagree on that point, Senator.
Nah. You know, you ever heard the expression, watch what they do, not what they say? I've watched what you've done. I know what you believe. Or you're on the FISA court?
I'm not on the court. No, I'm an amicus for the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court and the Court of Review.
Okay. Were you there when you guys issued all those bad warrants against Trump's people?
I can't discuss my work on the court, unfortunately.
Oh, it's top secret, right? You'd have to put me on the American people on double secret probation if you told them the truth, wouldn't you?
No. I can't discuss my matters that I've handled before the court. I can discuss the public ones where I've dealt with First Amendment concerns and the right to petition. I did an extensive history looking at that right
I'm done,
to petition.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Kennedy. We're going to turn it over to Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks, Madam Chair.
Welcome back to Illuminate Patriots, where we shine a light on the truth the mainstream refuses to touch. If you're tired of the double standards, the arrogance of the elites, and the endless attacks on common sense, then hit that subscribe button right now and smash the like button to help this message reach every freedom-loving American out there. Now, let's get into this fiery moment. Senator John Kennedy just had a heated exchange with a law professor during a Senate hearing, and it was classic Kennedy. Sharp, fearless, and absolutely unwilling to play along with bureaucratic games. The discussion? Whether state and local law enforcement should be allowed to fight back against criminal drone activity. Seems simple enough. Bad guys are using drones to smuggle drugs, spy on law enforcement, and compromise national security. So, naturally, Kennedy asked the question every rational American is thinking: why shouldn't our law enforcement have the power to stop them? But instead of a clear answer, this professor launched into a long lecture about constitutional limits. He rattled off concerns about the Fourth Amendment, First Amendment, and 10th Amendment, the kind of academic jargon we hear every time someone doesn't want to take decisive action. Kennedy wasn't buying it. He pressed him again, asking point-blank whether he thought state and local police should be able to fight back. The professor said yes, but with some conditions. That's when Kennedy cut through the nonsense. He accused the professor of loving the bill to death, meaning piling on so many restrictions that it becomes useless, a tactic Washington insiders use when they secretly don't want something to pass. And Kennedy didn't stop there. He looked this professor in the eye and said, "You're not talking to Bambi's baby brother here." That's vintage Kennedy, calling out hypocrisy in plain English. He made it clear that he's seen this routine before: academics and bureaucrats pretending to support security measures while quietly sabotaging them with red tape and legal loopholes. Then Kennedy went for the jugular, bringing up the professor's connection to the FISA court, the same court that approved the surveillance warrants used against President Trump's campaign. Kennedy asked if he was involved in those bad warrants, and, of course, the professor hid behind top-secret excuses. What's really going on here is simple. The establishment doesn't want law enforcement to have real authority, not at the border, not in the air, not anywhere. They hide behind constitutional lectures while our communities suffer. Kennedy sees right through it, and so do we. This is why his words hit so hard. You're not talking to Bambi's baby brother here. Translation? He's no fool, and neither are the American people. We know the difference between protecting rights and enabling criminals. And let's be honest, if the federal government can use drones for surveillance, why can't states defend their borders from drones used by cartels? The double standard is glaring. It's about control, keeping states weak and dependent while Washington plays politics. Kennedy's exchange wasn't just about drones. It was about power, who has it, who abuses it, and who's trying to stop those who actually protect the American people from using it. So, what do you think? Should states have the right to take down drones used for illegal activity, or should they have to beg Washington for permission every time? Let me know in the comments. Before you go, hit subscribe, tap that like button, and share this video if you're tired of watching the people in DC make excuses while America's security hangs in the balance. Stay alert, stay informed, and as always, keep your light shining bright. This is Illuminate.